This is Voice of Korea.
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 Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
We now present a mixed chorus, Song of General Kim Il-sung.
Hey!
Enjoy your meal, chorus. Song of General Kim Jong-il.
The second meeting of security officials of the Korean People's Army was held in the April 25th House of Culture. Respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, guided the meeting. Present there were commanding officers and security officials of the armed forces organs. Kim Jong-un took the rostrum. The rostrum was also taken by Choi Ryong-hae and commanding officers and exemplary security officials of the armed forces organs. Vice Marshal of the Korean People's Army Choi Ryong-hae, Director of the General Political Bureau of the Korean People's Army, declared the meeting open, and the report was made. The reporter said the meeting held under special trust and expectation of respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un will be recorded brilliantly in the history of the Seongun Revolution as a historic meeting which would constitute a new milestone in enhancing the militant function and role of the security organ of the army in line with the demand of the modeling of the whole army on Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism. The security organ of the People's Army is the political defender of the party, armed security organ, kindly trained by the peerless great persons of Mount Baekdur, opening the arduous untrodden path of the Seongun Revolution. The great leader President Kim Il-sung provided the Juche-based idea and valuable tradition of army security during the sanguinary anti-Japanese struggle, founded the security organ of the People's Army in the initial days of the founding of the up-to-date regular army after liberation, indicated a bright way for the security organ to go, and wisely led it at each period and stage of the development of the revolution. Great Kim Jong-il convened a meeting of security officials of the Korean People's Army in October 1993 for the first time in the history of the army building, and sent a historic letter to the participants in the meeting, and thus gave a weapon of victory to be held fast to by the security officials, and led the security work of the army step by step to be done according to the idea and intention of the party. Today, the Juche-based army security idea and achievements of the great generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il are being successfully carried forward and developed onto a new high stage under the wise leadership of Kim Jong-un. Under the great trust and love of the respected Supreme Commander, the security organ of the People's Army has grown and been strengthened as the core unit which perfectly ensures the security of the leadership of revolution at any time and at any place, carrying forward the proud tradition of resolute defense of the leader. The reporter dwelt upon the past successes and experiences and the future tasks of the security organs at different levels. Security officials made speeches at the meeting. The speakers resolved to bear in mind the historic letter sent by the respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un, firmly establish his monolithic leadership system in the security organ of the army, and fully discharge their mission and tasks in the sacred struggle to defend the party and the leader, our idea and system, and the arms of revolution. The meeting adopted the letter pledge to Kim Jong-un.
Respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, had a photo session with the participants in the second meeting of the security officials of the Korean People's Army. Present on the occasion were Choi Ryong-hae and other senior officials of the party and army. The respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un spoke highly of the merits of the security officials who regard the trust of the party as precious honor and happiness in life and have been devoting their lives, seen or unseen, recognized or not, to defend the party and revolution and the country and people. Saying that a new landmark has been set up in improving the militant function and role of the security organ of the People's Army through the second meeting of the security officials, he warmly congratulated the participants on their success in the meeting and had a photo session with them.
A performance of the state-merited chorus was given to congratulate the participants in the second meeting of security officials of the Korean People's Army. Respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, enjoyed the performance together with the participants. The performance was also appreciated by Choi Ryong-hae and other senior officials of the party and the army. The performance started with an orchestral music and male chorus, song of the Korean People's Army, and put on the stage were various items including male duet and male chorus, party flag forever with you, male solo and male chorus, always looking up to the leader, male chorus, soldiers march, orchestral music, cook wagon is rolling, female solo and male bangchang, 12 months of Sungun victory, female solo, song of defender, male choruses, pieces defended by our bayonets, let us defend socialism, and 7th Regiment stands before us today too. After the performance, respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un congratulated the performers on their successful performance, waving his hand to the performers and the audience. Kim Jong-un expressed his conviction that all the security men would in the future too be loyal to the party's leadership to the end and successfully perform their weighty yet honorable mission and tasks.
The Mongolian National Committee for Remembering Generalissimo Kim Jong-il was formed with due ceremony in Ulaanbaatar on the 12th. Present at the inaugural ceremony were personages of the Federation of Peace and Friendship Organizations of Mongolia, the Mongolian Korean Friendship Association, the Mongolian Association for the Study of the Juche Idea and Sungun Idea, and the Kim Jong-suk Kindergarten. Chairman and Executive Chairman of the committee were elected. A message to respected Kim Jong-un was adopted.
Kim Yong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, sent a message of greetings on Wednesday to Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom upon his election as the President of the Republic of Maldives. Kim in the message expressed his conviction that the friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries would continue to favorably develop in the future too. He wished the President success in his responsible work for the prosperity of the country and well-being of the people.
Kim Yong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, sent a message of sympathy to Giorgio Napolitano, President of the Republic of Italy, on the 20th. Upon the sad news of flood by typhoon which claimed human and material losses in the Sardinia island some time ago, Kim expressed deep sympathy and consolation to the president, the victims and their bereaved families. He hoped that the Italian government and people would heal the aftermath of natural disasters at an early date and stabilize the life of the people in the afflicted area.
Kim Young-nam, president of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, received credentials from Plamen Skruliev, ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary of the Republic of Bulgaria to the DPRK at the Mansudae Assembly Hall in Pyongyang on Wednesday. Kim Young-nam talked with the ambassador.
A national light decorations and lighting facilities exhibition and scientific and technological presentation were held at Kimcheon University of Technology on the 19th and the 20th under the sponsorship of the Central Committee of the General Federation of Science and Technology of Korea. Participating there were scientists, technicians, teachers and officials of the production units of illumination engineering and scientific and educational institutions. Various kinds of light sources and stabilizers, including over 400 LED lamps of more than 110 kinds, presented by Kim Il-sung University, Kimcheon University of Technology, the Pyongyang Lighting Apparatus Factory, and different other units were exhibited, and dozens of papers were read. Prizes were awarded to the participants highly praised at the exhibition and presentation.
A Bulgarian photo exhibition opened at the Pyongyang Center for Cultural Exchange with Foreign Countries on Wednesday on the occasion of the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and Republic of Bulgaria. It was sponsored by the Korean Committee for Cultural Relations with Foreign Countries, the Embassy of Bulgaria in the DPRK, and the Korea-Bulgaria Friendship Association. Present at the opening ceremony were officials concerned, working people in the city, Plamen Skruliev, ambassador of Bulgaria to the DPRK, and his embassy staff members. Invited there were diplomatic representatives of different countries, representatives of international organizations, and embassy members here. Speeches were made at the opening ceremony. The speaker said the photo exhibition will contribute to further consolidating and developing the friendly and cooperative relations between the peoples of the two countries. The participants looked round the photos on the cultural heritages of Bulgaria registered in the UNESCO and landscape. That day, a reception was given by the Bulgarian embassy on the same occasion.
A spokesman for the Southwestern Front commander of the Korean People's Army gave a statement to media on the 22nd under the title, "The lesson of the miserable defeat must not be forgotten even a moment." The statement said, 3 years ago, on November the 23rd, an exciting gun report shook the land and sky in the hot points of the Southwestern Front, countering the adventurous bombardment of the provocateurs with a justified baptism, and continued. The immediate counterattack of our officers and soldiers of the Southwestern Front, whose flames engulfed the whole of the Yeonpyeong Island, was an inspiring act showing to the world that we do not pardon any provocateurs and how dear the price of provocation is. The Yeonpyeong Island shelling was caused entirely by the senseless provocations of the South Korean puppets against us. Frightened by the terrible counterattack, the South Korean military hurriedly sent a message to our army begging for an end to the gunning. It was as good as an instrument of surrender unprecedented in the history of the inter-Korean relations. It was known later that no sooner had he received the report of the situation than trader Lee Myung-bak ran into the basement of the Blue House and cried that expansion of the fight must be prevented. And the South Korean Defense Minister Kim Kwan-jin turned up at a public event and confessed that it was an unerasable painful wound and a case that gave tremendous disappointment. The Yeonpyeong Island shelling was a just strike of our army and people who do not pardon those who infringe upon our sacred sovereignty and dignity. It was an exciting retaliatory counterattack of the defenders of sovereignty that clearly taught the trigger-happy South Korean military how dear the price of adventurous provocation is. It was also an explosion of the pent-up indignation of our army and people towards the reckless provocations of the confrontationists against fellow countrymen. The Yeonpyeong Island shelling was a proud victory that demonstrated to the world the might of the valorous, powerful revolutionary army of Mount Baekdu without any loss of life and weapon. But the South Korean puppets from last year, instead of drawing a lesson from the Yeonpyeong Island shelling, misled the public opinion as if the bombardments on the Yeonpyeong Island had been caused by our provocation and performed the masquerade of anti-communist commemoration function, describing their defeat as victory. It was possible last year as trader Lee Myung-bak with 2 megabytes of intelligence quotient was in office. But behavior of Park Geun-hye and her group show they are little different from Lee Myung-bak. Park Geun-hye and the group should derive a serious lesson from the disgraceful defeat on Yeonpyeong Island. It is an invariable will and determination of the officers and men in the Southwestern Front as well as the entire army and people not to miss the chance of attack once the South Korean puppets make another provocation. Now the South Korean puppets, in order to make up for the loss of defeat on Yeonpyeong Island, blow their multiple rocket launching systems, their latest anti-artillery radar, Cobra attacking helicopter, Spike missile and other attacking means have been reinforced. They also say that the first stage project of the fortification of the 5 islands on the West Sea was completed in an attempt to mislead the public as if they can stand our strike. Once a reckless provocation is made again, the flames on Yeonpyeong Island will lead to the flames of the Blue House and to the Sea of Flames for reunification. Park Geun-hye group should not forget this even a moment. If the South Korean puppets make a reckless provocation, ignoring the bitter lesson of their stunning defeat, they will not escape a miserable end. The victory is always on the side of our invincible revolutionary armed forces of Mount Baekdu, defenders of justice, the statement stressed. A spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the DPRK gave an answer to the question raised by Korean Central News Agency on the 20th as regards the anti-DPRK human rights resolution adopted at the Third Committee of the 68th UN General Assembly session. The spokesman said, "This year, too, the hostile forces, considering the DPRK a thorn in the flesh, railroaded the anti-DPRK human rights resolution full of groundless fabrications. The human rights resolution against the DPRK, fabricated by the United States and its followers every year, is a manifestation of the extremity of politicization, partiality, and double standard concerning human rights. We strongly reject it as ever. Steeped in deep-rooted negation of our socialist system centered on the popular masses, they fabricate such resolution ignoring the reality of the DPRK based on the politics of love for the people and talking black into white. It has nothing to do with the defense of human rights but only aggravate confrontation and distrust. The foolish attempts of the hostile forces to infringe upon the sovereignty of the DPRK and harm its dignified socialist system by abusing the human rights for dishonest political purpose will never escape a stern judgment of history."
The Central Committee of the Democratic Front for the Reunification of Korea sent an appeal to the South Korean people on November 20th under the title, "Let us resolutely foil the moves of the South Korean puppets to revive the Yusin dictatorship and fascist tyranny against the progressive democratic forces." The appeal points out that now in South Korea, the notorious Yusin dictatorship is being revived and bringing another fierce wind of fascism, and continued, "The remnants of the Yusin dictatorship, who usurped power with all sorts of illegalities and fraudulence, now have drawn gruesome sword of dictatorship at the progressive democratic forces and reunification movement forces. The persistent fascist suppression of the progressive democratic forces by the remnants of the Yusin dictatorship and their descendants, who are making every effort to revive the dictatorship, is aimed at clearing South Korea of progressives, disintegrating and removing the democratic forces, and realizing long-term office of the conservatives and Yusin dictatorial forces. The revival of the Yusin dictatorship is a tragedy of the 21st century, disgrace of the nation, and disaster of the present year. All the progressive democratic forces in South Korea should unite, foil the moves of the remnants of the Yusin dictatorship to dissolve the unified Progressive Party, and rise up in the struggle to defend the Teachers' Union, the Government Employees' Union, and the newspaper 자주민보. The struggle against the revival of the Yusin dictatorship is part of the nationwide struggle for improvement of the inter-Korean relations and national reunification. Democracy in South Korea is the road to genuine development of the inter-Korean relations, peace and prosperity of the nation, and independent reunification. All the fellow countrymen are always standing by the South Korean people who have turned out in the righteous struggle for progress and democracy, and the progressive democratic forces of the world extend full support and encouragement to their just struggle. The appeal expressed the belief that the South Korean people of broad sections will resolutely turn out in the sacred struggle to topple the bastion of the Yusin dictatorship with flaring flames of all people uprising, and open a new phase of democracy, improvement of the North-South relations, and independent reunification.
International Conference for Peace and Stability of the Korean Peninsula was held in Potsdam, Germany between the 11th and the 14th. Present there were Koreans of different tribes from the north and south and abroad, and foreign personages of academic and press circles. Invited to the conference was the DPRK ambassador to Germany. After the conference was declared open, congratulatory speeches were made. Koreans from the north and south and abroad made speeches on the historical study of the division and armistice of Korea and the principle and prospect of its solution. The speakers said, recently the relations between the north and south continued to be aggravated because Park Geun-hye regime is intolerably trifling with and slandering the system of the north and its efforts for ensuring peace, and frantically kicking up north-targeted war moves behind the signboard of dialogue. The main reason for the deterioration of the situation of the Korean Peninsula lies in the moves of the United States behind the scene. The conference heard speeches of foreign personages. They extended full support to the active struggle of the DPRK for the reunification of the country and peace in the Korean Peninsula under the leadership of the great generalissimus Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. They unanimously stressed that the peaceful reunification of Korea should be achieved according to the reunification proposal set forth by President Kim Il-sung. The participants watched the DPRK documentary Provocateur of the Korean War. During the conference, foreign participants formed International Committee for Peace and Stability of the Korean Peninsula. The participants held a press conference concerning the conference. And that's the end of the news read by Choi Sung-nam and Lee Hyang-sim. This is Voice of Korea.
The daily Minju Joseon on Thursday ran a commentary under the title, Unchanged Plot for Confrontation with Fellow Countrymen. The commentary said, the present South Korean chief executive made senseless remarks that the nuclear issue of the North is an urgent task for peace and stability in the region in her message sent to security dialogue held in Seoul some days ago. When meeting foreigners too, she begged for cooperation against the DPRK, releasing the stereotyped remarks that nukes of the North should never be tolerated. Following her, South Korean puppets are talking about dismantlement of North's nukes and change of the North and so on. Their slander of the nuclear issue of the North represent a disgraceful attempt to realize cooperation against the DPRK with the help of outsiders, and are an open provocation against us. The United States has inborn sense of negation and ambition for confrontation with us. It has long made frantic efforts to impose nuclear disasters on the Korean Peninsula. As a result, South Korea became the largest nuclear arsenal in the Far East, evoking protest and denunciation of the world public. If the South Korean puppets are interested in the settlement of the nuclear issue of the Korean Peninsula, they should demand the United States, which constantly poses nuclear threat and blackmail to the DPRK, pull back U.S. troops and nuclear weapons from South Korea, and abandon its hostile policy towards the DPRK, including the North-targeted nuclear war drills. They cannot say even a word to the United States responsible for the nuclear issue of the Korean Peninsula, but slander the DPRK's nukes, defending the dignity of the nation and protecting the nation from the nuclear threat of outsiders. Slandering our nukes is no more than a senseless outburst of psychotics who are crazy for confrontation with fellow countrymen. The South Korean puppets should clearly know the will of our army and people and act with discretion, the commentary added. That was the commentary under the title, Unchanged Plot for Confrontation with Fellow Countrymen, carried in the daily Minju Joseon on Thursday. This is Voice of Korea.
Please enjoy your meal, chorus. President Kim Il-sung is with General Kim Jong-il. We now bring you an orchestral music, A Soldier's Wish. Please enjoy the new song, Party Flag, Forever With You. Words by Collective, composition by Hwang Jin-young, arrangement by Collective, sung by vocal group of the Morambong Band, accompaniment by the Morambong Band.
그대 손잡고 눈부신 사태 우리 마음속에 어머니로 새겼네 당기요 그대는 우리의 희망 아름다운 우리의 미래 그대 중생을 그 품에 바쳐 그대만을 사랑하리라 당기요 그대 불갈고 줄기찬 율동 볼록인 소리 나를 펴는 서북의 노래 감기요 그대는 우리 꿈 만나는 우리의 행복 우리의 생명 다할 때까지 그대 뜻에 참되리라 당기요 우린 믿노라 오직 그대를 세월 끝까지 눈밑바람 막아줄 그대 당기요 그대는 우리 뭉친 깃발친 우리의 승리 영원 불멸할 그대와 함께 모든 영광 맞이하리라 당기요
Unforgettable Gratitude. Sang Ok-sun, manager of the Hwaechang foodstuff factory in Hwaechang County, South Pyongan Province, says, Greeting the significant Mother's Day, I look back on the honorable and proud days 1 year ago. In November 2101 or 2012, the first national meeting of mothers was splendidly held in the capital Pyongyang on the threshold of the Mother's Day amid the joy and excitement of the whole country. The meeting was attended by mothers who had many children, women bringing up orphans, wives of servicemen loyally supporting the Sungun-based revolutionary leadership of our party with one mind, and women innovators who had done a lot of work for the society and collective. I also participated in the honorable meeting and had a photo taken with the respected Kim Jong-un. In that moment I was excited, looking back on my life, that past life dream. Before liberation, I was born as a girl of a day laborer and lost my parents when young and wandered about from place to place. I could enjoy my life after the great President Kim Il-sung liberated the country. The state gave free education to me, who had grown up without enjoying warm love of the parents, and enabled me to work as the manageress of a local industry factory of a county in my 30s. The state awarded me a watch with the name of President Kim Il-sung and the title of Labor Hero, the supreme honor of a citizen of the Republic, though I have done what I should do for the society and collective. The state also helps me work with useful vigor until today in my 70s. This is the reality of our socialist system under which the working people are the masters of the country. I have worked sincerely to repay such great love and trust, even a little. We have rebuilt the factory in conformity with the demand of the developing times, expanded the variety of the foodstuffs, and increased their output to the benefits of the people. I find my pleasure and happiness in the increasingly rich life of the mountaineers. My factory is well known to the county people. I have just devoted myself to the work for the people before doing my duty as the mother of a family, and was awarded the Hero's Medal, and enjoy a valuable life as a meritorious person of the Sungun era. Indeed, in those days, I felt an unusual pride and honor as a Korean woman. Greeting the significant Mother's Day, I renew my resolve to make a greater contribution to the building of a thriving socialist nation with the pride of a Korean woman. So far, you've been listening to a memoir under the title Unforgettable Gratitude. This is Voice of Korea. Now you enjoy Ong Yugum's solo, played Kodan. You'll appreciate a female quartet, because this land is good.
옷이야 갖고 왔나 봄날이 싣고 왔나 강남에 갔던 집이 이 봄에 다시 왔네 행복의 초마 아래 새 집을 지어놓고 쌍쌍이 모여 앉아 노래 부르네 이 강산 하도 좋아 이 땅이 하도 좋아 삘리리 치지베베 삘리리 치지베베 목청껏 노래하리 한별 떠나봐도 천둥갈벽이라고 천군 제비들이 기쁨을 속삭이네 씨뿌린 들가에도 꽃피는 동산에도 즐겁게 날아있는 노래 부르네 이 강산 하도 좋아 이 땅이 하도 좋아 삘리리 삘리리 치지베베 삘리리 치지베베 목청껏 노래하네 눈길을 가시어준 태양의 품이 있어 화창한 봄이 오고 새들과 지저귀네 희망찬 우리 생활 봄날에 함께 남아 온종일 신이 나서 노래 부르네 이 강산 하도 좋아 이 땅이 하도 좋아 삘리리 삘리리 치지베베 삘리리 치지베베 목청껏 노래하리
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Europe between 13 and 14 hours UTC, between 15 and 16 hours UTC, between 18 and 19 hours UTC, and between 21 and 22 hours UTC on 7,570 kHz and 12,015 kHz. For North America, between 13 and 14 hours UTC and between 15 and 16 hours UTC on 9,435 kHz and 11,710 kHz. And for Northeast Asia, between 4 and 5 hours UTC and between 6 and 7 hours UTC on 7,220 kHz, 9,445 kHz, and 9,730 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.